Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our support group, our grieving support group. How's everyone feeling today? Good.
Good.
That's good. Today we're going to be talking about our trust issues, how well we feel um, about sharing our experiences with each other, and we've discussed in the last meetings of getting a partner and try to gain trust with one another, and we supposed to be keeping daily journals. So I'm gonna go around to see how that is been uh, going on, seeing how that is um, working with you all individually. I'm gonna start with you, Lisa. Have you been? How well do you trust each person in the group? How well do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 of sharing your experiences today?
About a 9.
About a 9.
Mhm.
How about
I
you,
feel
Jackie?
I feel pretty comfortable with everybody here now. A lot more than I did, for certain.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you trust?
I'm probably a 9. Probably a 9.
Good. What about you, Melissa?
I'm doing pretty good with the where we had to have partners.
Uh-huh.
Probably about an 8. I'm
Right.
almost there.
Well, good. What about you?
Well, from the beginning, y'all know I was very hesitant, and I feel like I've opened up more, and I can trust y'all a whole lot more. Like I treat y'all, see y'all as my second family, and so I feel like on a scale, I would have to say an 8, because in the beginning I was probably a -0, but I see that I can trust y'all more.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult in the beginning to share feelings with people. It's like total strangers, but we're all sharing the same thing. We're all grieving. So maybe today that we will be able to um, do a little exercises and kind of open up and kind of build more trust with each other and talk about our support groups. And so, what support groups do do you have, Lisa? Do you have outside of this support group? What do you rely on to for support?
Oh, my family, my husband, and I have some friends too.
In midnight hours or in the midnight hours when you're feeling down and everyone's asleep, how what do you do? Do
Oh, I play with my dogs.
so that kind of relieves stress when you're feeling down.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you found a way to cope with the grieving when you think about your lost loved one. Very good. What about you, Jordan?
Family and my husband and my grandmother is really close. We're really close, and so I spend a lot of time with her.
Well, that's good.
She's helped me through a lot.
She has a lot of wisdom to provide.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of time. Y'all can really bless each other, kind of.
Yeah.
She's there and she's glad to see you and she's helping you. So that's
And I
really
help
good.
her back too, so it works out.
Wonderful. What about you, Melissa?
My husband, my family, and a few friends. And one thing that helps get me through is I go back and look at pictures that I've taken, like where we went to prom together and stuff like that, and that helps ease my mind. To know I got to cherish all those moments with her.
So reflecting back of the good times y'all have shared.
Yeah.
That always make you feel good.
And of course, I get to see her kids grown up now, so I get to visit them. Her daughter looks just like her, so it helps.
It's really good that you're finding a way to bring out the good pieces and memories to help you along the way. What you learn?
I would say my main support system is my sports teams, because without them in the beginning, I would have crumbled and wouldn't have nothing to take my mind off of the pain. But also, I have to say my grandma. I call my grandma every day just to like reassure that I have someone to always talk to. It doesn't matter what day it is, what time it is. She'll always answer the phone. So those are my support systems.
So exercising, being with teammates,
Yes.
not only helping your body, helping your mind too.
Yes.
Good. So, excuse me. It looks like that we've all seem like all of you all have found a way to um, cope, some coping skills. We have the journal. We talked about in the last session of keeping your journal. Is that helping?
Yes.
Would anyone like to share?
I'll share. Okay. Well, I just wrote down a few things that I thought about the other day. I was like, I feel like everything is such a loss. The pain will never go away. I struggle just to walk in the hallways, and I refuse to go in the weight room because that's where he passed away. So, like, that's what I thought about the other day. Is like, it was hard. It was really hard for me to just go to school since it was like 2 days before school started.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's the point of being in school when everybody's sad and depressed and doesn't want to look each other in the eyes? So that's what I wrote down in my journal.
So, how does that make you feel by writing in your journal?
I like it a whole lot because I don't like to talk to people about my feelings. So writing it down lets me express myself, but it lets all the negativity escape from my mind into a note, and then I can go back and reflect on it later in life to see, oh, I understand why I was feeling at this point in life, and if something ever came up again, I can do the exact same stuff or not do the exact same stuff that made me do the things that I did.
Very good. Excuse me. So, does anyone have any ideas to share with one another, or has experienced something related to a best friend or a miscarriage that they would like to talk about to help someone in the group?
Me and Lisa talked, and she actually has kind of went through what I went through. She's had 7 miscarriages, and so she knows, how that I feel about it. And she helped me realize that, maybe it wasn't my fault. Like, because she said a doctor had told her that most of the time when you have a spontaneous abortion, it means that there was something wrong and your body knew it, and so it releases the fetus. And so it kind of helped me because that was one thing that I had really, really worried about, was that, if I had have had it from where I'd been drinking, would it have had, like, fetal alcohol syndrome, or would something have been wrong with it? And then I would have had to live with that the rest of my life, that I had done that to my baby. And so it kind of helped me realize, like, my body and God knew that it just wasn't,
It wasn't developing right.
yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. And that helped me a lot.
Excuse me. So, with you all sharing that, how does that make you feel, Lisa, being able to help a team? Um,
It makes me feel really good. I'm glad that I was able to pull you out of that.
It helped a lot. It did.
so,
Very thankful for Lisa.
it's kind of like a medical, because it relieves the guilt that you're feeling. It's more of or more of a medical issue.
Yeah.
It's not so much of something you've done.
Right.
So that helps you to deal with that in the future. Um, Melissa, how have you done anything? Have you wrote in a journal or done something to help you? Have you?
I wrote in my journal, and I also I like to add, like, with Lisa and Jordan about the guilt. I know Jordan was saying he was feeling guilty. I felt a lot guilty for not being around her, my best friend. Because, like I said, we had babies, and we kind of, when you get out of high school, you kind of grow apart, and you don't see one another. And I felt guilty because if I'd only been around and knew what she was going on, I could have done something about it, or I could have helped stop it or get her away from it. But being in this support group, I realized I feel guilty, but if it happened, I could have done everything and still not stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm right along with them with feeling guilty. But, when something like that happens, everybody always feels guilty. And you got to think, what if I was there? Or what could, I could have done something. But and realization, you couldn't have stopped anything. If it was going to happen, it's meant to happen. And I know this group has helped me understand that.
So that's why I related to her, because my first pregnancy was for twins, and I didn't realize that until after it was all said and done. But I was working at a hospital, and at that point in time, which was back in '82, that was back when all the nurses wore white and they still wore their caps and all this good stuff. But part of my responsibility was when a patient left the room, you or the nursing assistant would go in, and it was our job to clean the bed and all that. And what happened with me is I lifted the mattress, and when I lifted that mattress to clean it, I felt a pull, and I immediately started spotting. And I felt guilty forever for, not making somebody help me with that. And I felt like that was my fault, which brought in the guilt that she was feeling. And then when I realized, or the doctor told me that it would happen regardless, it just wasn't developing right, because he had me to draw a picture of what it looked like when I miscarried, because it was a complete. And when I did, he said, okay. And then he showed me a picture of what each step or each stage of development would have been, and it wasn't nowhere near looking like what it was supposed to. So I knew then that I would have lost it regardless.
I think us being in support groups really helped us even more. I can see that we've all come a long ways from the first.
Excuse me. It's important that we're able to trust each other, so we're able to share our feelings and our experiences with each other. And sometimes we can relate, and others can help each other. And thanks for sharing today. And I hope everything goes well with you all.